Welcome to Alternative Dog Moms Podcast. I'm Kimberly Gauthier, the creator of Keep the Tail Wagging. For the past 9 years, I've been blogging about raw feeding, pet wellness, and life as a crazy dog mom. I've seen massive improvements in my dog's health since I started raising my dogs naturally, and I'm passionate about sharing my experience to help other pet parents.
I'm Erin Scott. For the past 9 years, I've been researching and learning everything I can about healing cancer, allergies, autoimmune, and mystery illnesses in both my dogs and myself, and I can't wait to share with you everything I've learned on this journey. As the Alternative Dog Moms, we're bringing you all the latest dog health news that we're following and sharing the tips, tricks, and resources we learn along the way. Now, let's get started. Hello, Kimberly.
Hello, Erin.
So, I'm having a drink with our episode tonight.
I feel so bad because we're going to have a drink, and now I feel like, I had a lot of it.
So you have a Mike's Hard, is that strawberry lemonade?
Mike's Hard strawberry lemonade. It's actually quite delicious.
Yeah. I have the Screwball peanut butter whiskey.
Wow.
Because I don't like whiskey, but I like peanut butter.
I have an apple liqueur. And is it a liqueur? I don't know, but it's delicious. It's spiced apple. And I have like this much left, and I need to drive down to the place and get more. I'm so used to just ordering things and having it show up, but oh well. It's good enough for me I have to drive down to Snohomish, Washington, which I don't know how far that is anymore. It's probably going to be like a half-hour drive. But it's funny because I think for some people, a half-hour drive is a lot. But where I live,
to me, that's nothing. Yeah.
It's just like going back and forth to some place.
Yeah.
It's not a whole heck of a lot. So, but yeah, I have to drive down there. I know it's pointless for me to do it this week. It's funny how the busiest week, I don't know if this is the busiest week of the year, but it feels like it. This is a week where all of a sudden I decided to go to Costco on Saturday. And was shocked by what I witnessed. I was like, why are all these people here? I came home and I was complaining to Johan, and even he got on the phone with his mom and is like, yeah, Kimberly's complaining about how busy Costco was. And my friend Kathy, same thing. She was like, yeah, well, Kimberly thinks it's weird that Costco was so busy, the Saturday before Thanksgiving. And I was like, I didn't think of it that way. I was just like, there are people everywhere. And the stupid samples.
We were being very strategic about when we went to the grocery store last weekend, because we do the mashed potatoes and a couple other side dishes that we bring over to my parents' house. And so we were like, all right, we're going to go Saturday at 8 p.m. because I cannot handle it when it's crowded. I kind of have a panic attack. So
I just sit there and watch people. I people watch. And I wait for the freak out, because there's going to be a freak out. I'm sure I'll miss it this time because I no longer go to Black Friday.
Oh,
yay, internet shopping.
Yes. Yay, internet shopping for sure.
I mean, I used to be that person that woke up at, set my alarm for 3 or 4 a.m. so I can be there at 5. And I would go and get donuts. And I would show up at my first place with a dozen donuts for the salespeople, just as my apology, because I know that's going to be a horrible day for them. But I quit doing it when they started doing Black Friday on Thanksgiving, because I felt like, come on. I mean, I get it, money, money, money. But I just felt like I couldn't support having people working on their holiday, even if they choose to, and they're getting double time. I just was like, this is too much. And so I stopped doing that. No shame to people who feel the need to go out, because I know that it is a bonding experience, but I can't.
I have never, ever shopped on a Black Friday like that. But when I was in high school and college, I worked at the mall. And so I was having to be to work at 6 a.m. And so I think that made me kind of salty about the whole thing. So I just kind of never got into that.
The thing about it is that I love the idea of Black Friday, and I used to get serious FOMO, but there's nothing that I need that I have to get up that early for. I mean, I would tell myself, because like I love socks, and it's probably the reason why I own so many socks is because there's a store here that has a sock sale. And so I would stock up on socks at the sock sale, which is Black Friday. And I also go and get boots. Whenever I get boots every other year, and I go to this one place, same store, and buy like 2 or 3 pairs of boots because they're 50% off. And, and I'll have boots. And so like on Friday, I'll probably be like, oh, I really want to get this. But again, it's just not worth. I mean, I have horror stories of people being so rude that I can't even be rude back because it's so shocking. I was at Target one year, way too early. And I was excited because that year they had all of the DVDs like marked down to $5. Like it could be a series, it could be anything. And so I got so many DVDs that day. So I checked out, but then I was thinking like my receipt doesn't look right. And so I went over to customer service and it was like, is this right? Because I think I overpaid here. And so I'm talking to the lady. She's like, oh yeah, I'll check that out. And this woman comes and goes, I was in line. She was not in line. She was nowhere near in line. There was no one there. And she shoved me out of the way. Now,
oh my God.
It's like a 70-year-old woman, but she shoved me out of the way.
Oh my God.
And it got so bad. And I was just like cracking up because it was just like, oh my God, is this really happening? And the person that was helping me was about to call security because she was just like, ma'am, I will call security and have you escorted out. She was like, she cut me in line. And we were both like, you shoved me. I didn't get, I mean, it was just like, are you kidding?
Oh my God.
I finally was just like, and the lady asked me if I wanted to get security. And I was like, no. I was like, anyone who is here this early in the morning, because it was like 6 a.m. and that angry, I was like, she has so much going on. Let's not add to it. It's just like, but I was the ass that, when I walked away, I was just like, Merry Christmas. And then she growled at me. But yeah, so yeah.
Are there any big Black Friday deals that you're waiting for online?
No, everything not really. I got one really good deal on Rodrigo's joint supplement, You Move. There's an advanced senior supplement that he does really well on, and that's 50% off this week. So I did get that today because it's on early. But Adored Beast had an early Black Friday, like because you can check out their new product. What is it? The Wild, is it?
Yeah, like the Wolf probiotic or something.
Yeah, the probiotic. So, and I missed it by a day. So I was just like, damn it. And so I had to email my contact there to go, when is it going to, and wah. And so I didn't get anything, but she was just like, this is what the schedule is. So everything is 20% off. And I usually don't shop anything. If it's 20% off or less, I don't do any type of special shopping because I can wait for a 20% off sale anytime during the year. But I do want to try the Wolf probiotic because it's a tincture, which is kind of cool. I like anything that's liquid because it feels like it's more bioavailable. So I am going to peek at that. I ordered the Jump for Joints because I kept hearing so many things about it. And so I'm spraying that onto their food when I can remember. I forgot to do it today. So thank heavens for You Move because I have a backup. Every
time you say that, I think of that song, When I Move, You Move.
I know, like just like that. Now I will too. But yeah, WinPro, I get a joint supplement from them. That's where Apollo and Zoe take their supplement. So I'm hoping that they have a good sale. There's who else? I know Canapet will have a sale, but they already had a really good sale probably like a month or so ago. So I stocked up on the CBD treats then, so I won't need any more. But there's one more that I'm looking. Oh, Cocoa Therapy. This time of year, I usually buy like 8 of the small jars of the coconut oil. I don't need to order that many, but I was thinking about getting 4 or 5 of them, and that'll last me through the year because I use coconut oil for so many things. It's insane. It's like I'm a crazy person when it comes to coconut. I'm that person where people are like, coconut oil is not a solution for everything. And I'm like, let me show you. I use it to take makeup off. I use it on my hair as, before I shampoo, I slather it in my hair and let it sit for a while. I use it like if I cut my hand, I put coconut oil on it. If the dogs have something going on, coconut oil. Rodrigo was breathing in my face the other day, and I was like, yeah, let's put some coconut oil in your mouth because your breath stinks. But yeah, I'm like a coconut oil fiend. So I want to, and I like the small jars because it's easier for me to get all of the coconut oil out of it than their bigger jars. Which
pro tip right there.
Yeah. And I save the jars to put my golden paste in, which also takes coconut oil. So I'm hoping that they have a good sale, but I'm just worried because of the economy, and I don't blame people. I'm thinking that the sales won't be that great because there are some people, I get the emails of like, here's a heads up so you can promote it to your followers. And one guy sent me an email, and I won't say who it is because it would just be mean, but I just wanted to reply, really? I mean, why even bother? Because it's like, I'm not even going to, I'm not sharing this with anybody because it's like, no one's going to want, this is a regular sale type of thing, like on a Wednesday, but this is definitely not a Black Friday sale. But I can imagine that it's probably a rough year for a lot of vendors. So are you looking for anything?
Kind of just for me. I ripped my favorite jeans last week. Like I blew the knee out of them, and like I'll still wear them, but not when it's cold. So I want to get some new jeans now. And then my favorite sneakers always have like a good Black Friday sale. So I usually end up getting a pair, even though I don't really like need them right now, but like, I will eventually.
I might look at Zappos.
Like my hair, like my favorite hair and like makeup stuff usually goes on sale.
Oh, so. I know. One year, was it last year or the year before? I don't remember when it was, but it was one year. I think it was the year before last because it was 2020. I stocked up on so much stuff with Ulta because I had so many points and they were having a Black Friday sale, and I went nuts, and I still have not gone through my entire stash of stuff that I got that year. And I'm like this person where I used to be on first name basis with the employees at Ulta. The last time I was in there, I didn't recognize one person in the store because like, I don't know who these people are. And I probably have been in there. I can count the number of times on one hand. Whereas I used to like always go to Ulta. It was just like, I loved it so much. And now I work from home. So I still put on makeup, but I just don't really. So
Ooh, I'll have to make sure I put a link in the show notes because there is a kind of cool online event happening for pet products called the Xmas Pet Expo. And it's going to have like Dr. Judy Morgan, Dr. Becker, Dr. Connor Brady, all having like special big holiday deals. And you have to kind of like watch it live on December 2nd to get the discount codes. But I think you have like up to a week to watch it and get the codes or something. So I'll make sure we have a link in the show notes for anybody who wants to sign up for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, other than, I know mostly for Black Friday, I usually just, I stock up on things for my dogs is what I primarily do. I have a shopping cart with Chewy.com right now that I'm considering that's filled with, I've decided that Apollo, his toys need to be dinosaurs. And so I just bought a bunch of dinosaurs. But then after I filled the cart with all these dinosaurs, I was just like, I'm going to have to leave a few of these dinosaurs because I'm not going to allow Apollo to play with them because he will just destroy them. But, yeah, other than that, I just think I don't really need anything. It's weird. I mean, all the really cool stuff isn't going to be on that big of a discount.
Yeah.
The stuff like the freeze dryer that I want is, I think it's $500 off, and it's just like, but $3,000 versus I think it's $3,100 versus $2,600. It's just sort of like, it's still expensive.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, to me, Black Friday is, 80-inch TV for $99.
Right.
That's like, that's what I think of as Black Friday. And no one does that anymore. Or if they do, it's like 10 TVs. And I'm not even convinced there are 10. I feel like there's 3 and by the time. But yeah.
I did start my Christmas shopping.
Good for you.
I have bought one thing.
Okay.
It's for my nephew. And Tim's birthday is in December, so I did get his birthday gifts. So I'm very proud of myself.
I haven't done that. I only have to do Christmas shopping for my nieces and nephews, and I am the horrible aunt that sends my brother cash. And I mean, if I get it, I asked my sister-in-law for a list, since everyone's like older, I asked for, each of them can give me 3 to 5, like where they want a gift card from. And I will choose one so they can at least be surprised. And so that makes it a lot easier. And if I don't get the list from her, I'll just send my brother money and be like, have fun shopping for your kids. Or just give them cash. I don't care. Merry Christmas. And then we, with our family, we pull a name out of a hat.
Oh,
so
okay.
we only have one person to be responsible for. So I don't know. That's always easy. I always like it when my father-in-law gets me because he gets really good gifts. He knows me. My mother-in-law does too. They both know me pretty well, and I'm pretty easy to please. But I don't care about Christmas so much anymore, except for the fact that, I have some time off.
Yeah. Same here, kind of. It was more fun when my nephew was younger, but he's 14 and, a little jerky high schooler now. So
yeah, he just wants cash.
Yeah.
I remember my stepson, when he was a teenager, he would get so much money because none of us really thought about what we were all doing, but we were like, oh, they just want cash. Cool. That's easy. And just throw money in an envelope. And he would end up with like several $100s at Christmas time.
Wow.
And stuff. So I think the last gift that I got him was an Xbox.
Mm.
It's not fancy. It was a fancy Xbox. So it was a really nice edition. But at the time, I had a friend whose husband worked for Microsoft, and he was just like, we have these all over the place. And he told us, it's like, if you guys want one, I'll just bring a few of them home. They're everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, really? And I felt so bad. Like, I was just like, I got to give you $200 because I think it was $400, but I was like, I got to give you at least $200 because this just feels wrong. But it was just like, it gave me a new idea of like, whenever I look at electronics, it's just like, there's an office in this country where these are just sitting around.
Right.
Right. Yet at the store, they're like $400 or $500. So I think that was the last gift that I remember getting him. Otherwise, it was just always gift cards and money. So teenagers are good for that. Otherwise, they're just sort of like,
yeah,
like they're being punished to spend time with their family.
Yeah, that's the stage that we're in. Yeah, with my nephew. Yeah,
when it's just like, it's not like you can go anywhere because your friends are being punished too. I'm sorry that we're so boring for you.
Yeah. And my nephew used to love my husband, Tim. And like, now it's like, he doesn't even bother to come out of his room if we're there. And so I think it like hurts Tim's feelings,
I know. It's just, it's the hormones. I was watching a comedian. I think she's from the Middle East somewhere. And she was talking about how, in the West, we allow teenagers to blame their hormones for how they behave. And she was just like, yeah, that doesn't fly where I'm from. And it was kind of funny because it's just like, yeah, I guess we probably do but it is what it is. I wasn't a pleasant teenager.
And neither was I.
So it's like, I feel like if anything, I'm just getting karma for the way I behaved. So, and it's just, they're just paying it forward. It's not a whole heck of a lot I can do. So, do you make a special meal for your dogs for Thanksgiving?
Probably not this year. Sometimes in the past we have gotten like turkey necks, and Penny resource guards them. So we don't do that anymore.
That's awesome.
And Penny's like my little princess girl, but not when those turkey necks come out, man.
Just you telling me that if we lived in the same town, I'd show up Thanksgiving morning. Because they have turkey necks at our grocery store this year. And I'm guessing I guess people can make soup and things like that out of them. But I've never seen anyone cook a turkey neck. So I just figured it was for...
Yeah, I mean, I got ours from our pet food store.
Yeah, they're like at our grocery store. My dog's got turkey gizzards, so that's going to be part of their meal. And so, but that was all. I was this close to doing a whole turkey thing, but I was just like, I'm fine. I mean,
eats turkey. That's like in his usual rotation anyway. So
yeah. It's like my dogs don't. Rodrigo, I wouldn't say he has really a sensitivity. I mean, I guess he does, but he just doesn't do well on it long term. He does well on it here and there. So that's just one of the proteins that they don't get a whole lot of. And so I was thinking about doing something a little bit bigger, but I'm just sort of like, ugh, they don't care. Why am I?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to, we'll be home, up until about 2:00. So we're just going to do like extra long walks and, because it's like random weekday that we're home. And, also I'll take Penny out for a drive somewhere. Like, I feel like that's the more special thing, for them.
Exactly.
It's like the time.
The rest of it's totally for me.
Ooh, you know what I am planning for this weekend, though? I have to double check that they're going to be open, but I got an email that BJ's got a shipment of goat colostrum in. And so that might be something that like I Black Friday for myself.
I have so much FOMO about that. I know I was tempted to contact my local co-op and go, hey, are you guys going to do a Black Friday? Because they sometimes when we do a really huge order, if we're almost there but not quite, they'll make up the difference and order more of something, and they'll just store it in their freezers and they put it in a thing. It's called the treasure box. And so you can go and get extra stuff. And so there's a couple things in the treasure box that I want to get, but I don't want to spend that much money for it. So, but I'm like, if you guys knock it down, I'll buy it off of you. But the problem is that if they announce it, which they would, because they would want to be fair, it's like, I would lose out. Everyone's so quick and speedy when it comes to buying stuff. It's just like, darn it. So, but I think mostly I'm just going to watch movies all weekend and hang out with the dogs. The weather's supposed to be, it's weird because this is our rainy season, and today was a rainy day, but we've had really great weather. It's just been really cold. So I think I'll take the dogs for a nice long walk.
Yeah, it's like been like straight up winter here for like the last week.
I've seen like Buffalo, New York is like buried under piles.
Yeah, we didn't get any snow yet, thank God, but it's been cold and windy. Today was like the first day where it like wasn't miserable. Like I didn't, have like my ear warmers and everything like strapped.
Time for everyone to run out and buy stuff for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to just chill. I need to finish up finally the feed reel course, because when we had the power outage, I couldn't do it. And then I just got off and I'm just been doing other things. And so now I specifically took Monday off so that I can spend the entire weekend and I can knock out the last sections of the feed reel course and I'll be done. And I'm excited about that. So it's just like, good Lord, I just need to get that done so that I can take the next one.
Well, it is Thanksgiving week, so I wanted to make sure that we thanked all of our listeners because we had the number 9 pet podcast in the U.S. last week, and we've been in the top 50 for like over 2 weeks, and that's just been really exciting, and we appreciate it.
It is so real. It's so funny because, for folks listening, Erin sends me a text whenever we get something really cool, and so she sent me a text when we were hit 12.
Yeah, we were number 12.
She sent me another text. And it had the number 9 on it, but it also had 12 on it. So I was just looking at the 12 and wondering, there's got to be a reason why she sent this to me again. So I'm just going to stare at it until I figure it out.
Because I think it was saying we were up from like number 9, up from 12.
Up from 12, yeah. And I just stared at it. And then finally I was just like, oh my gosh, I get it now. And I felt so slow because... But I was really excited, and I told so many people, even strangers. So that's just how it is. But it's really exciting. I'm glad people like what we're doing.
And we got an awesome 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, somebody who really liked Thomas Sandberg being on, and we certainly appreciate that. I always say that's like the greatest compliment you can give a podcaster is to give them that 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts.
It's just like he was so much fun. I think it's like as far as the year, probably Thomas was my favorite, but not for the reason. I mean, great information, but he was my favorite just because I kept watching you every time there was a ding, a notification, because I could just feel like eventually you were just going to have a tick in your eye because it's like in your head thinking, am I going to be able to edit that out?
Yeah, I did edit a lot of them out.
So that was fun. So that made me happy.
Well, I was super excited to get to talk to Chelsea.
That was like epic.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like just total. I mean, and we talked to her like for a little bit beforehand and then for a long time afterwards.
Yeah. Like, I felt bad. I was like, that poor girl hardly has to pee right now.
It was so epic. I actually still have the cheese. And I just give a small amount every day to Rodrigo. He loves it. Except for yesterday, he refused to eat it. He has gone on a hunger strike.
Oh.
Yeah, he does not like the food that I make for him. So I've been cooking for him because he seems to prefer cooking. And he is just like, this is not a pup above. I don't know what this is, but I am not going to eat it. And I was like, but I put your cheese on it. And he's like, I don't care. And so I gave the cheese to Zoe and I think I gave him some of the raw because he was like, I'll eat raw before I eat this. And it was just like really insulting. So, so I will no longer be cooking for him. He will just be eating a pup above with some raw thrown in here and there.
And I also feel like we, kind of got like a bombshell reveal from Peter last week that he's expecting a baby.
That's right. I totally forgot about that. That is like so sweet and exciting.
I know.
He's so nice.
Yes, he really is. Just a genuinely nice. Yeah. And what a lucky baby. Like that would be like the healthiest kid ever.
No, it's Maple.
Oh, well, okay, you're right. Maple is definitely the healthiest kid ever.
Maple's going to grow up to be the kid that eats their vegetables and enjoys them. Because I saw on Instagram she was drinking kombucha, and I'm just like, wow. I would love to just go and give kids kombucha and just video their face. She's just like, oh yeah, I'm just drinking this, and other kid would probably spit it out. I mean, it's just like, wow, but she's so sweet. But yeah, I think he'll be the second healthiest baby.
Yes. He'll be like importing dirt for her to like play in the backyard and,
the sandbox.
Have like all the healthy probiotics of the soil from a regenerative farm.
Testing it out to make sure. Going to different farms and seeing. So she has the variety.
Yeah. Gotta have the diversity. Yeah.
I said that to a friend of mine or a coworker of mine. Her son, she says, has a really shoddy immune system. So he catches, if there's something going around, he's going to catch it. And I was like, I wish I had advice for you. It's like, if he was a dog, I would just say, let him go outside and play in the dirt. But since he's a child, I don't know how much that would help. But it's all I got.
It can't hurt. Take him to Lancaster. Let him run around on one of those farms yeah.
Well, that's what's so funny. It's just like, I wonder if the reason why, for some people, I mean, they talk about, I don't know if like the things that we did when we were kids where today, if someone saw kids drinking out of a hose or, running around barefoot or things like that, they would just be horrified. Maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. But,
I never ran around barefoot as a child.
I would.
I mean, it's probably why I have allergies, but
I would at home. I would at home in the summertime. I would. Because
my mom, I can remember being in a hotel with my mom and having to be like, don't let your feet touch the ground.
Now, if I were in a hotel, I would have slippers. But yeah. But I was also like, I wasn't allowed to just, I had to walk around in slippers. I couldn't walk around just in my feet because my mom was like, you'll get flat feet if you don't, you'll do that. And I don't know how true that is, but so I always had slippers. But when I was outside in the summertime, because we play in the sprinklers and stuff like that. So we were always running around in the yard, barefoot and I actually I stepped on a sandal. And when the buckle of the sandal with that little thing that goes through the hole, and I still have the scar on my foot where that went into my foot. So I ran around barefoot. I have the wounds to show it.
I feel like my mom raised us to think that anything other than our house was hot lava, on the ground, don't let your feet touch anything ever.
My mom raised me for that everything needed to match.
Oh.
And I remember one time I was shopping with a friend. We were at Victoria's Secret and she was showing me this bra and she was like, you should get this bra. And I was like, I can't. And she's like, why not? And I said, because they're on underwear to match. And she was just like, what? You have to have the matching. And she was just like, why? And I'm like, in case you go to the hospital. She's like, do you think that they're going to be performing life-saving work on you, but then notice that your underwear and bra don't match and they're going to be like, oh no, just let her go. This poor miserable woman. And I didn't, and I'm in my, I don't know, late 20s, early 30s at this time. And I was just like, that just made sense to me at the time. It was actually, I was in my early 30s when this happened. And I was just like, I've been doing this all my life. Same thing with glasses. If I get down to something where there's only one glass left because I've broken them all, I just have to break that last glass or find a different use for it. It becomes a vase or something, but I can't have one random glass in my cupboard. It's just too weird. And we have one. We have this one random glass, but it comes from Johann. My stuff came in a case with other glasses that match. Johann has these random things. And so it's okay because that's his. And I will not drink out of it. I'm also the person that needs all the light switches to be the right direction.
Oh, that is my husband. That is my husband.
So it's no wonder that I'm a raw feeder. It's because I think I have the perfect personality to just be totally obsessed with my dogs and sprinkling essential oils on them and lining up crystals and just all the crazy stuff that I do for my dogs.
I don't know if we've ever said it on the podcast, but I record in what is kind of like my husband's office, and we are surrounded by his whole row of crystals behind us, and those are his, not mine. Just for the record, I have my own, but they're in a different room, but that's his collection.
I love that he has those. I think I've told you this, there's a guy in Lake Stevens that has a garage filled with crystals and rocks and all these type of things. And he'll post ads and you can come and go shopping. And I want to so bad, but I won't go unless someone goes with me because I'm convinced that it's a trap. And I'll end up in this basement in a cage. And because
that's smart thinking.
Why do I need to come to your garage? You freak. And I'm just like, I don't know who this guy is, but no one will go with me because Johan's like, I don't have time to go and look at it.
Oh my God, Tim would totally go, and he would have a knife or something on him at the time too.
I'll just go with my pepper spray and my taser. He's like, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't know you. Can you go stand over there while I look at your stuff? But he has really cool stuff, the circles and I don't know if you call them circles, but the spheres. Thank you. You always have the right words. But yeah, but I'm just really excited because I know it's not called a moonstone, but I call it a moonstone because of Vampire Diaries. And I have 2 of them. So and for anyone listening, if you really like crystals or you're interested in crystals, there are Etsy shops that give you surprise packages. And so that's something that I'll look for over the next few days, is because I'm sure they'll have Etsy sales, and it's kind of fun. But I'll get a surprise gift box and they'll just throw things in there. And sometimes you can send them a message to say, this is what I'm looking for. Not specifically the rock, but it's like, I'm looking for something for peace, or I'm looking for, I don't know, just tell them what you're interested, or I like these colors or something. And they'll just put together a whole little gift package for you. And it's so much fun when they arrive, because I'll go through and it's just like, oh, look at this. And again, there's something wrong with me. I don't think that there's something wrong with me, but Johan definitely does think that there's something wrong with me, because all of my crystals are organized by color. So I have a white bowl and a pink bowl and a green bowl and a blue bowl. And I have one bowl that has a bunch of different colors, but they're all really smooth. And so they're like the rocks that I like to run in my hand. And when I went down to San Diego, they were selling them on the beach. San Diego is so cool. They were selling them on the beach down there. And yeah. So if you're into crystals, Etsy. It's a great place.
I should also, by the way, just thank on the record my husband, Tim, for helping to make this podcast possible by giving me dinner before we record every night, just in honor of Thanksgiving and being grateful. I want to just put that out on the record.
That is awesome. I thank him as well. I would like to try a keto diet.
Yeah, I'm down 15 pounds now. Tim is down about 23 pounds, I'd say. And he goes back to the doctor in January, and we're excited because we want to see, what changes it's made in his blood work.
That would be so cool just to see what that does. I am so fascinated. So right now, the new thing that I'm fascinated with is in gardening. And I was watching videos this morning of people who were taking the trim, or like when you're taking, like if you're going to chop up carrots, so the top of the carrot with and putting it in the ground and replanting it. And so instead of composting them. And I guess the few videos that I watched, they were in response to, like, on TikTok, there's this trend where people are making it seem like this is super easy, but just FYI, it's actually not that easy. So let's just show you what you can do. And this one guy, he made an entire garden. Like he did potatoes and celery and carrots and onions and garlic and ginger. He took one ginger root and it multiplied over the summer into all of these ginger roots. Oh, wow. And it was like kind of cool, where it's like, and I'm sitting here, it's like that with cooking videos, where by the time it's done, I feel like I'm a master gardener. And now I'm going to do all of these things, and I'm rearranging the house in preparation of my gardening that I'm going to start doing. I don't think that that's going to happen, but that's what I want to do. I want to go and buy some vegetables so that I can see if I can try to repropagate them into more vegetables.
Oh, wow.
I know. It would be so cool if I could. We'll see.
So I saw a couple things online this week that were kind of cool that I wanted to mention. First, yesterday was actually Jacqueline Hill's birthday, and I saw that Solutions made a post in tribute to her, and that there is a nonprofit organization being started in her memory that's going to be called Jacqueline's Animal Farm Research and Education Foundation.
Nice.
And so Solution is going to be sharing more information about how people can get involved and support those efforts. And so I thought that was really exciting.
That is so, I love the fact that, she, like gone but not forgotten.
Yeah.
And that just her legacy won't be, it's not gone with her.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I said this before, but she's one of those, she and, Roxanne, just so brilliant and so smart. And it's so much fun. I remember Roxanne and Billy did a live, and I know that Roxanne was nervous about doing it because she doesn't like to be on camera. But you can tell the moment she kind of forgot about the camera and just got into the discussion. And I often saw the two of them doing that so much, or even the three of them doing that so much when they would have conversations, because it was just like they could go around the country hosting events where the three of them would just sit on a stage and talk about dog food. And we would all sit there with our pens and papers.
Absolutely.
Because
I would totally pay for that.
It was just like they were so smart and so brilliant. And it was because of them that, I would learn things about, the benefit of soil and how it wasn't just about, like, for instance, with pasture raised animals, that is not just about the fact that they're out with fresh air, but it's also the dirt that they're walking on and the fact that they're allowed to be themselves and do what they naturally are supposed to be doing. And that all of this feeds into how healthy they are. And then subsequently, how healthy their meat is for whoever consumes it. Because it's just, what's amazing is that so many of the things, like the fermented fish stock, I did try to do a fish broth challenge. I made it 3 days. And then I forgot to.
Where you were drinking it?
Where I was drinking it. I was drinking it and giving it to the dogs, but I ran out of a carton and I thawed out a new one, but then I just completely spaced. So I made it 3 days. And but I want to say it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. It's not a taste that I enjoy. I'm not like, oh, yay, it's time for me to take a shot. I know it's not that at all, but it doesn't make me want to retch. So, so it's not, the end of the world. The dogs like it a lot more than I do.
Yeah, I can imagine. I have Tim calls me a super smeller, where I'm just like so super sensitive to how things smell. And there's a lot of things, like seemingly normal things, that I can't eat because they don't smell good to me. So yeah, I would never be able to do that.
I know. And the whole plugging your nose thing, I don't know about you, but that does not work for me.
Not totally. No, not at all. Like, maybe it takes the edge off, but not really.
Yeah. It's just like that. And it just seems awkward and uncomfortable because I can't. So yeah. So, I mean, I haven't gotten sick from those, since I had those 3 days. And I've had a coworker who was very, very sick. It wasn't COVID, but it was some horrible virus that she and her son had. And I was like all around her before she went on sick leave. And I didn't get sick. So I like to think that it's because of the 3 days of fermented fish broth. I really want to do like a month. Kind of like what Chelsea was talking about, because my hips hurt and my knee hurts because I did I don't know what I did with my knee, but I did a knee drop on the Big Barker bed because it's supposed to be like, if you really think that your bed is good, then just drop down onto it with your knees. And it's like, and if you know that you're going to hit the ground, and so you're not going to do that, and it's probably not a good dog bed. So I did it, and the Big Barker beds are so thick and they just don't move. So you just basically, it's like doing that on your own mattress. It's like, nothing's going to happen. But I also tripped and fell up the stairs, which I often do. and I hurt my knee. So now my knee hurts. And so I'm just thinking in my head, I just like, if I just can get through, like, I just wanted to try a week. Just let me get like 7 days of the fermented fish. And then I could probably do the whole month. But yeah.
Well, you can start back up anytime.
I don't want to right now. Because the other thing is, so now I'm going to get gross, is like as you're drinking it, and it's not like I'm drinking it like I'm savoring it. I'm trying to get it down as quickly as possible without belching it.
Oh God.
Because it's like, that's the other thing, is that, it's like, am I going anywhere? Because it's like, I need to drink this and then I need to stay at home for an hour and let it settle, because I don't want to then drink it and then like go out with a friend and then I'm just doing this little fishy belch. That's gross because it's fermented.
Yeah. Good point.
So if anyone listening is thinking about doing that, consider that people won't like that. I usually just go, and then after I do it, I go brush my teeth and do some mouthwash and then just let it go. So maybe I will. Maybe I'll start up tomorrow. Maybe. Maybe I'll start up on December 1st.
So one other cool thing that I saw is that it looks like Rodney and Dr. Becker are back on the road again for book 2 in the Forever Dog series.
There's another book. Is it going to be the Forever Cat or just another Forever
Well,
Dog?
what they post said today is that it sounded like they were going to visit Susan Thixton. So that could be, dog or cat.
I love Susan Thixton. That is like so cool.
So I didn't know. I figured something would be coming next, but I was really excited to kind of get that confirmation, and I love what they're doing.
I do. I love that book so much. A friend of mine recently read it, which is crazy because I still have 2 extra copies of the book because I bought a case of them. So I have a problem with lack. And when something is selling out, as can be evidenced by my freezer full of sure, I have a problem. And I don't mean to hoard it. I just, all of a sudden, it becomes so important. So when the Forever Dog kept selling out, I became this mad woman where I would get up in the morning and I would hit like Walmart, Target, Amazon, and I would place orders. And so I got so many books. And then I was giving them to, like, if I went to the vet, I would take a book with me and drop one off at the vet. And I gave so many books out. But I love it so much because it has so many crazy ideas. But a friend of mine was reading it, and now we have been friends for years. She knows that I feed raw. She's been to my house many times. She's my dog's masseuse. She's more my friend, but, she massages my dogs. But all of a sudden now she actually wants to start cooking for her dog.
Oh, wow.
I'm just like, yay.
Yeah.
Yay. I mean, it's just like so cool because she's reading this book and there's just something about, I don't walk around, lecturing my friends on dog nutrition. If they have questions, I answer them. But, that's not what we talk about when we're hanging out. But it was kind of cool that she started reading this book. She was traveling. And so one of her family members had it. So she sat down and started reading it. And by the time I don't know if she's back yet, but she's like, yeah, I think I'm going to switch our dogs to a cooked diet. She wants to cook for them.
That's awesome.
So I think that's pretty cool. I love that. But it's like, it's kind of cool, just the fact that it's making difference. I'm still really impressed because the actress that was in James Bond Casino Royale posted something on Instagram holding the book. And I was just like, what? It's like, she's famous. And I was so excited just to see something like that. But I was waiting for them to be picked up by like Oprah's book club.
Yeah.
That was like always my deal with Rodney, that it's like, when you meet Oprah Winfrey, please call me and just let me hear her. I just want to hear her go, hi, Kimberly.
So I'll post a link in the show notes. Amaris Wang, who does the Raw Entrepreneur podcast, she's doing a series with Shayna Allen, and I know Shayna works with Rodney's team, where they're kind of doing podcast episodes going chapter by chapter, talking about the Forever Dog
idea.
So yeah, I thought that was really cool. They've done the first, I think 2 chapters so far, but because they just started the series. Yeah. But I'll make sure we post a link in the show notes for anybody who wants to follow along.
Idea. I wanted to do something similar for not a podcast, but to have a group,
like a book club
that went with the Feed Real course. And because there's so much information in the course, and because it's taken me forever to get through it, I'm terrified of the final exam because it's just like, oh no, I took a 3-week break. I hopefully passed this, but it's so much really cool information, and it's delivered in a way that's very consumable, but it's still kind of fun to just apply it to what I do with my dogs, and then to compare notes with other people and what they do with their dogs. Because I know that like Dogs Naturally magazine used to have a Facebook group for their summit, and probably still do. But I guess Roddy and Karen don't need one for the forever dog because they have the Inside Scoop, which, I really need to get back into that group. I gave up because Facebook kept canceling my, sorry, you need to re-up. And I'm like, I already did, Facebook. And I thought I was going crazy until like 2 other people contacted me and they're like, yeah, we're having the same problem. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I just stopped worrying.
So, I will just say Inside Scoop has been on fire lately with all the conversations they've been having. They talked about like spay neuter, and they had some great conversations with pet food reviews. So yeah, they've really been on fire lately, I will have to say.
I switched our dogs to a new veterinarian.
Yeah.
And they want me to vaccinate my dogs.
Oh.
So it's a conversation. And I just, I explained to the person, it's like, let me think about it. And because when I thought about it, because I was like, I won't do any of these random vaccinations. I mean, my dogs don't go anywhere. They're, it's like, I'm just not going to do that. It's like, however, because it's by law, I will consider rabies for 2 of my dogs because they're now outside of that window where, like, if a rabies vaccine lasts for 7 years, then Zoe is not covered because, she hasn't been vaccinated for rabies since she was 1 and she's now 9. So I'm thinking about getting the Adored Beast has a protocol when your dog has vaccination. So I'm thinking about getting the protocol for Apollo and Zoe and then having them vaccinated. I'm not going to do Rodrigo at his age. I think I just explained that to him that I just do not feel comfortable doing it at his age. And what amazed me, and maybe it's because of my own energy, is it wasn't an argument. He just said, he was like, even rabies. And I was like, I will think about it. I was like, but for right now, I just don't feel comfortable with it based on what I understand. I was like, but I am open to new information. And it's like, I'll think about it. And he was like, okay, that's fine. And it was just like, oh, yay. So.
Yeah, neither one of my dogs are technically vaccinated according to the law.
I love that you're doing all these air quotes. Technically vaccinated according to the law.
But,
So, it's just one of those things where I'm going to think about it. I would love to have my dogs titered. I think at this point, like with Zoe, it's probably a moot point because it's been so long, but I maybe will consider having Apollo titered someday, but I'm not sure. Right now, it's just sort of like since neither one of them need to go into the vet, I'm not going to worry about it. And Rodrigo's only going for laser therapy. So it's, he's in there for 10 minutes and then he leaves. And speaking of veterinarians, how is your pup doing?
My penny girl. So we finished the course of antibiotics for the UTI. She does seem symptomatically to be resolved for the most part. What I will say is, we're watching her kidneys because she does seem to be drinking more water and just producing more urine. But that urine seems to be okay. It does not seem to, have any residual bacteria left, negative bacteria left in it. So we're doing the course of animal biome now in light of her having to do the antibiotics. And actually, that's something that Rodney and Inside Scoop posted this week was about. There actually is a study now. It's a people study, not a dog study, but showing, and I'll post a link in the show notes for everyone, that it is a good thing to take probiotics with antibiotics because it'll help decrease how much damage the antibiotics are doing to the gut health.
So did they talk about, like, do you take them with the pills or like at opposite ends of the day?
That is, so like with Penny, I purposely was giving them like at different times of the day. I can only read like the abstract of this study, and it doesn't specifically state it in the part that I can read. And it also doesn't go into like which strains of probiotics, are beneficial either. Mm-hmm. So while Penny was taking the probiotics, I listened to what Dr. Holly shared and gave her the SBU, while she was getting the antibiotics. And then we have her now kind of alternating between animal biome, which is the fecal microbiome transplant, and then a separate probiotic called Visbiome that my vet recommends that has like over 100 billion.
Oh, wow.
It's like 112 billion probiotics in it. And then we're still giving her the SBU, the version that comes with the animal biome kit. Yeah. We're giving her that too. So after she finishes this, then we're going to do an animal biome test to see kind of where she's at, if she needs more support. Because this, like, the other thing that's interesting is this time of year. So the last three years in a row, Penny starts having a health issue. Something weird pops up in like August, September, and then it gets really bad in like December. And so we're really monitoring her right now. We're switching her over to a different type of protein to help with the change in the seasons, because my vet's very into following, Chinese medicine. We've added an extra Chinese medicine supportive herb in to kind of help her with changing the seasons. But it's been very interesting because it has, it's like it happens once and you're like, oh, okay. It happens twice. And it's like, oh, that happened. That's weird. But when it's happened like 3 times in a row, like that's a pattern, and so we're really trying to stay on top of that. But overall, she's doing good. And, she's pouncing on slippers and just wants to go for a car ride. And,
Yeah, that's another one is animal biome. I'm hoping that they have a cell because I want it to get to, I don't test Rodrigo because he has EPI. I probably should because it would be curious to see what his gut looks like.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to test Zoe and Apollo. So I think I want to get 3 tests, and I was hoping that they would have some type of BOGO deal over the weekend because I want to try that wolf probiotic, but I want to see where they are now before I do it. And then maybe test them again in 6 months to see if there's any type of change. But
that's a good idea.
Yeah, I know. And it's one of those, like the same thing with the parsley pet where, I wish I would have tested my dogs. I wish I would have known to test my dogs like beforehand, like maybe right before I switched to raw. I mean, I don't even know if Parsley Pet I don't think that they were around then, but it would have been kind of cool to test them before they switched to raw and then test them again 6 months or a year later to see what was different. Because, going back to Chelsea, learning about, the consistent things that she sees with kibble-fed dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be interesting to see how much of that is corrected by feeding a raw diet.
Yeah, I'm so fascinated by like what trends you can pull out of the Parsley Pet data.
Yeah, it would be cool. I hope she publishes those someday because it would be really fun to just really be able to check that out and understand, not so much to diagnose, but just to get a better idea of what to look for, whether it be a kibble diet or a raw diet, because again, no diet is going to be perfectly balanced. So it would be kind of cool to see like what's consistently off in various raw diets. And then, because that's what was interesting about her was she would talk about the things that were consistently off, but then talk about how the data is already skewed. So it's not so much that it's off. Where we're getting our information from, it's already just kind of like it's way too low or there's no set, maximum. So it's just sort of like, where do we get our information? How do we know? I'm still waiting. I know that Dr. Becker had plans to do something similar like with NRC and APCO, but for raw fed dogs. And so it would be nice to see. I bet you it's going to be one of those things where she will tap into Chelsea because Chelsea has access to a lot of data that can be helpful.
Yeah, that's an amazing resource. Yeah.
Yeah. And just pull that together because I think that that's the thing that I struggle with is when I'm looking at my dog's diet and someone is like, well, how do you know it's balanced? And it's like, I honestly don't because all of our resources are based on kibble-fed dogs and they're based on very small sample sizes. And there's so much more to it than...
And it's based on the minimum survival versus thriving, health thriving. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just, there's so many things that I would like to know.
It's like with people, like the recommended daily allowance of vitamin C, I think it's like just enough to keep you from getting rickets. It's not necessarily the optimum amount that you need to be healthy. It's like just enough to keep you from getting sick.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, and then of course, because kibble companies are using so much synthetic stuff to meet these requirements. And then I wonder how much of that is actually bioavailable and dogs are actually gaining a use from, which would make sense that a kibble-fed dog is kind of, maybe just a little bit malnourished because they're not getting everything that they need because of the ingredients that are in the bowl or in the kibble. Whereas, with a fresh food diet, because it's the one thing that I truly believe is I don't care where, I know that it's in an ideal world, you want grass-fed, grass-finished, you want pasture-raised, you want organic, and true organic, not, fake marketing organic. You want all of these great locally sourced type of things. But for people who don't have access to that, and they are feeding from the grocery store, which is probably going to be factory farmed and not pasture raised, not grass fed. I still think because it's fresh and it doesn't have a bunch of synthetic chemicals in it, it's still going to be better than a diet of processed food.
Yeah.
And even it's like, not to demonize kibble, but gosh, I still, enjoy my occasional day of McDonald's. I just don't eat it every day. And so it's like, to add fresh food to a bowl of kibble, gosh, I would love to see a study similar to Long Living Pets research that's on adding fresh food to the bowl, just tracking dogs to show, this is a health issue this is what they were experiencing. This is how it got better. When I started doing, this is what I'm adding. And not so much to track longevity, but just to show the benefit of, adding that fresh food to a dog's diet. Yay.
Yeah.
Have you started making broccoli sprouts yet?
That's really funny that you should mention that, because I bought all the stuff and I bought it like back around Labor Day weekend, and it was supposed to be my Labor Day plan. And then I was like, oh, that should be my Black Friday weekend plan. Now that I have all the things that have been collecting dust for the last couple months.
I'm going to start a new batch, I think, this weekend.
Because I wanted to make a video, but then that stresses me out. And so then I never did anything.
I was going to do a video, but I was going to do it the way, like when you're watching talk shows and they have a cooking segment and the person does all the ingredients and then she goes, so we don't have to wait. And they just go to the oven and pull out the finished product.
Right.
And so I was going to get some sprouts growing and then I was going to do a video showing how to get it started. And then here's the finished product. But this time I'm going to do a bunch of different types of sprouts. So I'm going to do broccoli sprouts, but I don't remember the name of them, but I remember I told you the ones that make your dog smell like maple syrup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to get those, or I already have them. So I have those and I'm going to do, I think I have sunflower. I'm going to do chia because I was been watching videos and it's like, I think with chia seeds, I can just do them on a paper towel. And put a bowl over them, but I'm going to I have all the stuff, so I'm going to use it. But I'm going to do chia seeds. It starts with an F, the ones that make you smell like maple syrup.
Oh, is that the fenugreek or something?
That's it. And the broccoli sprouts and then the sunflower. And I swear there's one more, but I cannot remember what it is. But I think there's like 4 or 5 different seeds that I have going on. And I have all this stuff. And so I wanted to go through, just label everything lightly and start growing some sprouts. Maybe I'll even mix them up and grow them together, make a crazy garden.
Oh,
I know. So we'll see.
Yeah, Penny and Nino love anything I ever put in their bowl. So I'm excited to try it. Except when I was trying to put the probiotics in Penny's bowl and she thought I was trying to poison her. and she kept spitting them out. So now I have to give them to her with peanut butter after she eats.
My dogs get, and I know it's really foo-foo, and Johan just thinks it's silly, but I buy grass-fed, grass-finished hot dogs for my dogs. And when they go on sale, I buy a bunch of them. And I know it's so funny because, well, people in my grocery store they don't know who I am. I'm not like this great person, but the people in the meat department know that
Are you known
for my dog? Yeah, they're like, because someone will be like, "Are those really good hot dogs?" And if one of the meat department managers walks by, they're like, "She's probably buying them for her dogs," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's like they're really good pill pockets." And I was like, and I don't know what's in those hot dogs, but these hot dogs have all these great labels on them, and I trust this farm, so I'm gonna do these. And so every night around this time, Rodrigo will come and find me and just stare at me. And I know that it's time for his hot dog. And he was taking 2 pain medications that were prescribed to him. So he's taking gabapentin and carprofen. Yeah. And I was supposed to give him twice a day, but I'm just like, you can have it once a day. And then I'll do CBD oil. So I was doing CBD oil twice morning and evening, and I added midday. So he was giving CBD oil 3 times a day. And then I did this huge cleanup, which I should have sent the picture to you. When Johan and I were arguing and he was stomping around the house last weekend, I decided to clean up my dog's cupboard because it's been a bothersome thing for me for a while. And I finally was just like, you know what? I'm just going to organize this, because organization always makes me feel good. When it was done, it's a work of art. It's so beautiful. And I just open it up and it's like, everything's there. And I found that my dog has Arnica. And I was like, when did I buy this? This is awesome. So I weaned him. Well, I didn't have to wean him off. I just stopped giving him the carprofen and I kept giving him the gabapentin. And now he is 100% on Arnica 3 times a day. He gets that with his hot dogs, and then he gets his CBD oil. So he should be coming around looking at me going, hey.
So is that like the oral version of Arnica?
Yeah, it's a pill. It's a little pill.
Yeah.
And so it's just
there's like a topical version too.
Yeah. And I saw the topical version and I wasn't sure because I was reading up on it and it just seemed like it was something that you put on topically. And I was just like, I don't know if my dog can actually consume this. And I needed to give him something that he can consume. So I got this and I'm so happy to have it because it's working and he's doing really well. So
I use it for myself topically.
Yeah. I need to get back into our walks again. I haven't been walking my dogs the past couple days. I don't know. I don't have a reason for it. I just haven't been. Well, I blame Rodrigo, but it's not his fault. Dogs don't understand when they have to rest. And so I can let the other 2 out and they are running and Rodrigo's like ready to go. And I have to keep him in the house and we have to wait until he stops being like, let's go. And it's like slows down and then I can get him so he walks out of the house instead of goes bolting out the door. But it's so sad because sometimes Johan will take 2 of the dogs out and walk around the property with him. And Rodrigo's standing at the door like, but what about me?
Yeah.
So I have to do things with him to play with him in the house. And it's just so sad. Or I take him on walks with just me and him and he won't go as fast when it's just me and him because he's not trying to keep up with Apollo. But it's just like the vet said that it's like you have to keep him still because he can injure himself so badly right now at his age. And it's like, and he's a border collie mix, but he's a border collie and he wants to run and play.
And he has the partial tear, right?
Yeah, he has a partial tear. He has arthritis in his spine and in his hips and in both of his knees. So it's just like he has to stay kind of chill and mellow. And he's kind of getting it, but he doesn't make the connection to the reason why you're hurting right now is because remember when you went bolting out the door and running across the property? Yeah, that's why.
Right.
He doesn't understand that.
Right.
So, it is what it is. So what are your plans for the weekend?
So tomorrow is probably like clean up around the house day, laundry, clean bathroom, all that good stuff. Thursday is like, take it easy in the morning because then we got to do Thanksgiving dinner with the family. I gotta, we go and see my family. My grandmother is 98. She lives with my parents. And over the last year, she's really declined and needs a lot of like round the clock attention. So it's like kind of a 3-ring circus over there because they have my nephew, my brother, my grandmother, and my parents all under the same roof. And, I'm grateful for the opportunity that we have everybody there, but it's a 3-ring circus. So. And then, Friday I'll probably be like recovering. Friday might be my sprout day. I know I want to have one day where I just kind of lay around and read and don't do anything else. Those are my big plans. I haven't binge watched anything good in a while, so maybe I'll find something good to watch.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna. I was watching. I actually made it through. Did I make it through Black Panther? Because I was going through the Marvel movies again. So I think I finished Black Panther, and I have to look. I mean, Disney Plus has it all organized by timeline. So I have to see what's next. Oh, no. Did I? Nope. I think Ant-Man. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to continue that. And we just go to my in-laws on Thanksgiving. I'm making my peach cobbler. Since I've never made one before, I'm making test peach cobblers just in case I suck at it. So I'm going to do a few test batches, and then I will have one final one to take to Thanksgiving. And I'm also been instructed because Costco has, cranberry ginger ale. And so I bought a case of that. Ginger ale is my jam. And so cranberry ginger ale. I mean, it's actually not, it sounds great and it's fine. It's actually way too sweet. So it's like I was drinking it at first, like, oh my God, this is so good. And then I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with it. So, but I was asked if I can bring some to Thanksgiving. So I loaded up a bag with most of it and I'm taking it to Thanksgiving. And then Friday and Saturday and Sunday, I have to finish that course. I am finishing that course and I am going to be a certified something or other, but I am going to be done with that course. And I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have plenty of podcast editing to do too.
Just a little. Well, there we go. Have a wonderful holiday, everybody.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving. Until next week.
See you later.